What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. So on this episode, this was requested by several people. They were looking for a deep death row guide or review on melee weapons specifically. We're going to be taking our beginner setup, which, as you can see here, this is the stats: 22% EXP, 17% damage, 10% ammo, a couple of looting, 15% attack speed, or 15% search speed, 10% attack speed. But just some basic general implants: volatile, behemoth, devils, quartermaster, enforcer, runner, neurodrive, secrolink, catalyst, celerity, adrenostem, and brawler. And then obviously I keep my hook on there, but very cheap setup, 100 to 150 million for that. The weapons we're going to be looking at is the noble nodashi, the xammer, the doomstar, the exterminator, the bloodseeker, the dusk grazer, x-dusk grazer, and the dawn blade. So those are the ones that we are looking at. And what we're going to be doing is I just popped some energy bars to get me some movement speed. We're going to be heading to the hospital and just seeing how these perform. So without further ado, I will be right back. Alright guys, so we are in the hospital. We're going to be trying out the noble nodashi right now. And again, this is with... Hold on one second. Let me kill this guy and then be able to talk to you guys. Alright. Hold on. Alright. So, we have a 22% damage boost, but we also have 100 strength. So we're getting an additional 26% melee damage, so 48% boost. Again, if you have 100% or 100 strength, you will also have that increased melee damage, so keep that in mind. So we're doing the noble nodashi, and it's hitting for 368 with crit. I don't know how this is going to go. I can already tell you these, I don't know what they're called, the enemies that are white, they take multiple hits, whereas these guys can be killed in 2 crits. So it's not bad, but when you have a group of enemies, I can definitely see it being a challenge. Like let's try down here. So again, this is one reason why I prefer pistols or rifles. You can already see how sketchy this is. So would I bring a noble nodashi down here? Probably not. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and move on to the xammer. So 590. And again, guys, this is with minimal damage boost setup, okay? The problem with melee down here is there's so many enemies, and if you can't one-shot, you're really gonna feel it. Alright, let's just keep trying out the xammer here. So it looks like 2 shots as well. So it's very similar to the noble. I would not pick up the xammer and come down here either. I just wouldn't do it, guys. Now, obviously, if you have the damage boost to increase it to 1 shot, well then, you know, go for it. But if you have that much damage boost, you probably have enough cash to get some better implants. Now, with a 35% boost from a, you know, serum, it might help as well. And we may look into that. But we're going to go ahead and switch this out. Alright, so the noble nodashi is a no. The xammer is a no. We're going to look at the doomstar, and we're going to look at the bloodseeker. Alright, so here is the doomstar. Hits for 1180. Very, very solid. Now, I can tell you right now, without damage boost, just like I am, with very minimal damage boost, I should say, I would come down here. I can already tell you it's comfortable. You know, I could come down here and loot, and my dogs are going crazy. Odin, quit! Hey! Knock it off. Leave her alone. Dog's fighting. Playing, actually, but... Alright, so let's try out the Doomstar over here. I mean, I'm impressed. You know, the Doomstar? I would definitely roll with this. I'm not having any issues. I could come down here and loot pretty easily. And it even will two-shot those. One of those did not crit, so it would have two-shot the white zombies. See if we can find another one. I probably should heal up too. Let's go ahead and heal up. But yeah, Doomstar is a pass. Alright, so you could come down here with minimal damage boost and loot without issues. Alright, let's try out the Bloodseeker. It's sitting for, what is that? What's it say? 516. Now, the Bloodseeker, it has really fast attack speed. So you can see I got a chunk of enemies here. I mean, honestly, because of the attack speed, not too bad, guys. You know, I would say you could run this. You could run the Doomstar, either or. But hitting for 562 with such fast attack speed, it's actually all right. If you like faster attack speed, that's something to look into. I still like my one-hit kills, but I can see how you could prefer it. So the Bloodseeker, it gets a pass. So let's do this. Let's say that passed, Doomstar passed, we have the Exterminator, and we have the Dusk Grazer. Alright guys, so we're going to take the Exterminator here. Now this is a holiday event item. I don't like testing these, but somebody mentioned it. The Exterminator I've talked about in other videos. It is an amazing weapon. You get it for Easter event. It's just a very, very good free weapon. Watch how much damage this does. 959. It's a free item, and it can one-shot enemies down here in the death row with minimal damage boost. It is slow. It is a slow weapon. But if you have the Exterminator, I would not upgrade from a... I would not spend the money to upgrade to a Bloodstar or Bloodseeker or the Doomstar. I would not do it. I would keep the Exterminator, I would save the money, and I would spend the money on armor or implants or something else. A weapon, a grinding weapon, but I would not switch from the Exterminator to one of those. It just, there's not enough bang for the buck, right? In my opinion. So Exterminator, I knew it was going to be good. It is solid. You can bring it up here all day long and loot. Alright, so now we're going to switch to the Dusk Grazer. So at level 200, you can get this. And it actually hits for 600. This is how fast it hits. So it was hitting for 640. It'll two-shot with 2 crits. Let's go up here and see if we can test it out on a couple other... Again, I like to one-shot, so you'd have to do the math and see what damage boost you need to one-shot, and we'll look at that. But yes, I would not recommend a Dusk Grazer. It can do it, but you can already tell that it is struggling, right? If I'm taking 2 to 3 hits to kill a basic zombie here, I'm going to pass. Alright, so I'm going to put it with the no-go. And we're going to move on to the x-dusk Grazer and then the Dawn. Now my guess is that this x-dusk Grazer will work. So it looks like just a tiny bit more damage boost is needed to two-shot these guys. It'll two-shot those. Ouch. We need to heal up. Let's heal up real quick. Alright, all good. So 738. So, could you come down here with the x-dusk grazer? You could. Definitely could. You know, is it comfortable? I wouldn't say it's comfortable, but I would say you could come down here and do it. You know, it'd be okay. You could do it. So I'll pass it. But you guys can already see the struggles, right? Like, I'm trying to kill these things. There's mobs. It's just not convenient, but it is doable. You could come up here and just, you know, take one zombie at a time, do some looting, and you could be casual. Guess I don't need to go back in that. Let's switch here to the Dawn Blade. Now, obviously, we all know what's going to happen here. Look how fast it attacks. Yeah, I would definitely use this. But again, it's a Dawn weapon, right? You gotta be level 300, so, you know, how are you gonna get to level 300? You know, you're not gonna have this weapon here to get you there. So I would rule it out. I would say, you know, for a new player or somebody wanting to come up here, you're not gonna start out with the Dawn Blade, right? So I think your best bet is the bloodseeker or the Doomstar as of right now. You know, you could use the x-dusk razor, I would say. You could use that as well. And you could even use the noble nodashi, but, you know, it was very difficult and you're probably going to die. But you could use it. But I wanted to find some beginner items, some medium items, some high-end items to give you guys a look at all the melee. Obviously, there's Santa Claus and things like that, but those are holiday event items, and I really don't like going over those. Unless it's like the season for that item. But yeah, this is smooth. The Dawn Blade is definitely smooth. So we talked about the Dawn Blade, the Exterminator, the Doomstar, the Bloodseeker, Noble, X-Hammer, and Dusk Grazer. Let's try the X-Hammer one more time. Yeah, it'll two-shot. So, I mean, it's just like the X-Dusk Grazer. A little weaker, probably, but... Actually, let's check that out. I have it on, so... That does 700, and the X-Hammer does 590. So there's your difference, guys. I want to see something else here. Let me go back to my inventory. So 790 for the Dusk and 590. I'm sorry, 590 for the X-Hammer. Let me see something here. Let's do the Noble and the X-Hammer. Alright, so we got the X-Hammer hitting for 590. We have the Noble. I need to do a crit. Oh, come on. When you want zombies, there are none. Let's go back out and come back in. So 590 with the X-Hammer and 369 with the Noble. Again, it'll two-shot these, or it'll two-shot those guys, but you're gonna have to really battle with the Noble Nodashi. Let me see if I can switch one more time. Let's do the Dusk again. I just want to get a solid look at these again, all the lower class ones. So the Dusk, 654, so it's in between. Not bad. You know, if you can snag the dusk, that's probably your best bet. You're still going to struggle. I want to look at the Doomstar and just see what damage that was doing per hit. So the Doomstar is 1190. So the Doomstar is where it's at, guys. It just really hits. That of the Exterminator. But if you're not level 200, that Doomstar is really nice. And the Dusk Grazer will just save you some cash. So anyways, there's our look at those items. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to go back to the outpost. And I'm going to talk about a few things. So just hang tight for 1 second. Alright guys, so I went through and looked at the bestiary, looked at the enemies. Most enemies down there at the deep death row have 1,000 to 1,500 health. So 1,000 to 1,500 health in general. So what you're doing is when you're looking at the items, you can go through all the weapons we just looked at. But what you're going to want to look at, or at least what I look at, you can look at two things. You can look at damage per second, or you can look at damage per hit. I generally look at damage per hit because I want to know when I hit something, how many times do I have to hit it to kill it, right? So if you're looking at the Doomstar here, the Doomstar does 160 damage a hit. But if you critical hit it, so 4 out of 5 times, it's going to hit for 800, okay? Well, I have a 22% damage boost, right? I also had a 26% melee boost, okay? So with that, because of my strength, so I had 48% boost for my weapon damage for melee, okay? If I take this 800 damage and I times it by 0.48, because I want to do 48% more damage, right? That's 384 more damage that I will do. So if you take this 384 and you add the 800 that it does, that's why I was hitting for 1,184 per hit with this Doomstar. So what you do then is you find the item that you want, the weapon you want. You do the math, you look at your boost, how much, maybe you do 78% damage boost, you know, whatever that number is. And then you find the item that you can use to 1 or 2 shot these enemies, and you can pick your build. You know, maybe you can do it with the Bloodseeker. Maybe you can do it with the Decapitator. I don't know. But that's how you go through and look. And then the second thing, you're going to look at price, right? If you don't need to pay more money because you're not going to get a benefit, then don't do it. You know, if you can do it with a cheaper weapon, then do it with a cheaper weapon. But anyway, final review, guys. The Bloodseeker was good. The Exterminator was good. The X-Dusk was good. The Dawn was good. The Doomstar was good. The Dusk can be a stepping stone. And the X-Hammer could be a stepping stone. But I would start out with the Doom or the Bloodseeker. And let's go look at this real quick. Fast travel. Let's look at the Doomstar. Doomstar is 71 million, guys, GC'd, okay? What's the Bloodseeker? Bloodseeker, 30 million. 31 million GC'd, but you can buy it for 19 million, guys. So I think the Bloodseekers have really, I mean, you guys seen it. It was pretty smooth. And then we have the Exterminator, which was free. And then, again, you can use the Dawn Blade. Dawn Razor, or Dusk Razor. Ugh. Dusk Razor. And I believe it's like 700,000. It's cheap. Dusk Razor, 300,000. So that's a very good bet, guys. And then we have the X-Hammer, which, again, a stepping stone. You know, if you're trying just to get down there and you're not level 200. The X-Hammer is 2.5 million. So, again, some different options for you guys. But go to the wiki. Just click the wiki. Go up to items. Go to weapons. Go to melee. And then take your damage boost, your melee boost, and find the weapon you want times the damage per hit and see what you get. But anyways, let me know if this was helpful. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. I have a lot going on. I got to travel out of state for a week for work. Been just a lot of stuff going on. Nothing really bad. It's just busy. So I'm sorry if I've slowed down a tad bit. I'll try to keep it coming. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate you guys. Please smack that subscribe button for me. Give me that thumbs up button. Leave a comment below. Join our Discord. It's 100% free. It doesn't cost you guys a dime. Link in description below. And let me know some more ideas that you guys want to see. And until next time, you guys stay safe out there. Peace.